All right, let's briefly talk Clarke versus Wardley. And the reason why I say briefly is because the fight was brief. The fight went just over two and a bit minutes. Now, going into this rematch, okay, I see a lot of people picking Clarke online, and I've said several times that I've never really rated Frazer Clarke that highly. I thought his ceiling was kind of British, European, thereabouts. So I thought, certainly the first time around, I thought, let's wait and see, because I've been someone who's looked at Fabio Wardley, and yeah, there's talent there, there's potential there. And it's a weird one for me because I would always be the sort of person, if you asked me, do you need an extended amateur career? I would always say, well, no, not really. It's not a necessity. However, it definitely can help. And when you're dealing with someone who, it's not even that they haven't had an amateur career, I mean, it's white collar. If you type in white collar fights on YouTube, I mean, some of the fights you'll see is some of the rawest, most novice fights you'll ever see. Like, it's a swing and a miss. It's everything. You look at it and you're just thinking, like, good Lord, like, what training did they do? So when someone comes from that background and is going in there with a bronze medalist, am I right in saying Clarke won? Bronze medalist? You think that, okay, as good as Fabio Wardley looks, that he's going to run into some problems here. Definitely. And the first time around, although he dropped Frazer Clarke, and I think it was round 5, it was nip and tuck, it was competitive, and it really could have went either way. It was a great fight. It was a brilliant, brilliant scrap. And I thought, okay, this time around, I'm going with Wardley. He should be better. I think that Clarke gave as good as he could probably give that first time. And I think that Wardley has a little bit more to his game. I think he can go through the levels ever so slightly. And I think that he'll have a little bit more. He might win this fight on points, but clearly this time. Or he might be able to force a stoppage late on. That's what I was thinking. Because if you remember last time, one of the key things about the last fight is that Wardley was fatiguing late on. Now, you could argue, and you'd be right to argue this, Clarke was more fatigued because he basically collapsed like in the corner after the bell went in the first fight. The 12th round ended. And I was like, okay, he was clearly more fatigued, but he was better at disguising it. He was better at hiding it. More experienced, everything better at hiding it. And I thought, okay, this time around, yeah, as I said, Wardley should have a little bit more in the tank. He should get the job done. One round. What? I'm still a little bit kind of like, how did that happen? It kind of picked up from where it left off the first time around. Both guys were doing what they needed to do. Clarke definitely the more crisp, the more sharp of the two in terms of, just skills, amateur pedigree, and just sharpness, I thought, early on. Then Fabio Wardley just stepped on the gas ever so slightly. It didn't look anything crazy, but he was able to land a big right hand on Frazer Clarke. Frazer Clarke was definitely stunned. He kind of sagged back to the ropes and obviously protect yourself at all times. He was able to get a little short uppercut in there on Frazer Clarke. That was something. It was something that kind of made you think, okay, he's buzzed, but he's firing back. Fabio Wardley, when he goes through the gears, it's crazy because he was throwing those shots. The head and body, the hand speed is there, the viciousness, the ferocity. What I will say is that he needs to be careful because, again, he was caught with an uppercut. It didn't really do anything. But when you're dealing with the elite level, they'll be able to counter you when you're doing that. Even if you get a guy buzzed, that's when a lot of the times they're at their most dangerous. I mean, look at Anthony Joshua. When he went in there and tried to finish off Dylan White, Daniel Dubois, ended up getting clipped, ended up getting caught. Against someone like Frazer Clarke, you're probably going to get away with it. And he did. He backed Clarke up to the ropes, opened up a combination, and then landed a big right hand that appeared to hit his temple, kind of temple side of his chin. And he sagged into the ropes, and I kind of thought, okay, look, he's down, he's hurt, it's near the end of the round, he should, get up, they'll let him recover, and, so on and so forth. And then you look at him in the corner, and it looked like one side of his face was just drooping, it looked like he had a stroke almost, and there was a big dint in the side of his forehead. And you looked at that and you thought, okay, no, wave it off. And the referee quite rightly did. Subsequently, it's emerged that he had to go to hospital. I think it was a broken or fractured jawbone or something like that. So, quite serious. We wish Frazer Clarke the best, obviously. Wish him a speedy recovery. But damn. I mean, Fabio Wardley, I didn't expect him to win, but a first round knockout, when I watched it at the time, I was like, good Lord, how does that happen? Incredible performance by Fabio Wardley. Very good performance. Clinical. Look, there was a bit of doubt first time around, left no doubt this time. It's very seldom you get a fight that's as competitive as it is first time. The second fight just is a complete one-way mismatch, first round knockout. It's very rare it happens. Very, very rare. So Fabio Wardley, I mean, I always kind of wondered where his gauge was, and as his career progresses, I'm starting to kind of look at it and be like, well, it's going further and further and further, because I genuinely thought this guy would do well to get the British level. He's got the British level. He's fine at British level. Now I look at European level and I think, yeah, you know, good chance you could succeed there. What about fringe world level or world level? You see, that's when it gets trickier. When you look at the guys that are there at world level in the heavyweight division, you just think, as ferocious, and that ferocity will take him places it will. You just think, oh, if he does that against, you know, a top elite operator, how will he end up? You know? But look, Queensberry, and this was a nightmare night for Boxer. It really, really was. I mean, you had Jack Massey losing very badly. Look, he gave as good as he could give, but I mean, Jay Opetaia looked clinical in there. Jack Massey loses. You have Frazer Clarke losing in a round. Particularly bad night for Boxer. Frank Warren has signed Fabio Wardley. That's another heavyweight that was in the Matchroom stable, certainly when he was managed by Dylan White. That's now gone to Queensberry. I mean, you look at the heavyweight division. I mean, it's Queensberry and that's it. Like, it really is. Usyk is a free agent. Well, sort of. He kind of does his own thing. Joshua's lost. Johnny Fisher, what's he going to do? Frazer Clarke's been knocked out and around. I mean, Frank just has that heavyweight division almost on lockdown. And, you know, another good night for him. Obviously, he's finally taken an L against Matchroom. Sky Nicholson beating Raven Chapman. But that's about it. And, you know, I can't imagine Frank Warren, no disrespect to Raven Chapman or anyone like that, I can't imagine Frank is going to be shedding many tears over that one. No offense. Can't imagine it. So, yeah, Clarke gets the win over, Wardley gets the win over Frazer Clarke, yeah, in a round. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed it, people. Smash the like button if you could. Hit subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. I said it'd be brief, and this is probably a brief video by my standards, so there you go. Let me know your thoughts. Hope you enjoyed it. Peace.